Hello, everyone. Yesterday I began sharing with you Joel Goldsmith's book, Living the Infinite Way, and I'd like to share with you today some of Goldsmith's ideas from chapter 2 of the book, Attaining the God Experience. Goldsmith writes, "We must remember that the message of the infinite way is not to give the world a new teaching, but to give the world an experience. The infinite way is actually a God experience, a Christ experience. The infinite way is not its writings, lectures, any classes. These are the instruments leading us to the infinite way. But the infinite way itself is the God experience." He writes, "It became very clear to a serious student one day while meditating on the subject of the desert and water that talking, thinking, seeing, or even touching water would not quench his thirst. Only by drinking and therefore experiencing water is his thirst quenched." Goldsmith realized that no matter what truth or how much truth we know, truth itself is not a healing agency. It's merely a step leading us to a state of consciousness, and that state of consciousness is the healing agency. The dedicated reading and studying of the letter of the truth are steps opening consciousness to a final experience. And when that experience takes place, that's when harmonious living is quickly revealed and manifests in our lives. Goldsmith writes, "If we take into our time of meditation the desire to truly know God, we will be led to a God experience, which is peace, be still, to any form of what Goldsmith calls error that may ever touch us." He writes, "As a matter of fact, continuing in the God experience will prevent about 90% of the world's troubles ever touching us, and the little that may touch us will be quickly resolved." Can you even imagine a life where problems don't exist for you? Where your health just becomes better and greater every day without you doing anything? Where your finances seem to just improve without your taking any thought of how to do that? That opportunities for many different things just start coming your way without you searching for them? That you wake up each morning feeling more alive, more joy-filled, more peaceful about living? This is what has been promised us if we seek first the kingdom of God. And then, as it states, all things will be added unto you. Goldsmith writes that meditation is one of the very important teachings in the message of the infinite way. Yet many people still resist doing it, or resist even wanting to learn how to do it. I think because there's just so many different ways to meditate. What works one day may not work the next. What works in the morning may not work in the evening. So we all have to be willing to try many different ways. For one person, sitting in absolute quiet is the only way they can meditate. Another person can only meditate if they have soft music in the background. Guided meditations work for others. And then there are some who just cannot sit still to meditate. So do a walking meditation. A walking meditation is where you just stay connected with each foot touching the ground, where it touches, how it feels, what are you breathing, what are you hearing, how is the weather. These are the things you focus on. So if you're doing a walking meditation, be present in every moment. But whatever type of meditation you do, especially for those who choose to do a sitting meditation, just sit erect, your spine straight, your feet firmly on the floor, your hands relaxed in your lap, up or down, it doesn't matter, and just breathe normally. There doesn't have to be any special breathing. When the body is perfectly comfortable, you just are not conscious of it. From there, you can go into your desire to know God. You're not interested in anybody else's concept of knowing God. This is between you and the God within you only. The kingdom of God is within you, so your knowing God must come from within your own being. So as you sit, just breathing normally, thoughts may come, thoughts may go. You just observe them. It may come to you that God is life, but this statement now is at a different level. It means more to you than just a statement that you've probably said over and over and over again many times. It may come to you that you think about the universe, the light and warmth of the sun, the brilliance of the stars, planets, clouds, and you begin to realize that everything is living and that everything is God. You may start to think about flowers, trees, foliage, the infinity of life in the universe. And you suddenly may realize that all these things exist only because of God. No human being ever created any of these things. They all exist because of God. And then may come the understanding that they are God itself, not something separate and apart from God. That they are life itself, and they are already here. And then you may think, but I'm already here. Just as they are here, that must mean that you also are here and are the life of God in manifest form. That you also are life itself, living, moving, breathing in this physical form. At another time in meditation, the thought of love may come to you. And then in that thought of love, you realize that there can be no love except as God brings love onto the planet, a higher form of love. The thought may come that not only is God the life of the trees, the flowers, the birds, and everything else in the world, but God is also love because God is feeding them and sustaining them. God is not only creating, He is also maintaining, sustaining, feeding, protecting. That is when you will see that you need not protect anyone or anything, because the law of God is the protection to its own creation. God is the first creator of all, and then makes all that is in the very image and likeness of God. God is the maintainer, and God is the law unto its own creation. Goldsmith writes, this realization is a much higher form of meditation and connection with the One. The day will come while meditating and pondering the idea of God and wanting to know God, that you will suddenly find you cannot think anymore. You have come to the end of the thought about God and to the place of wanting to know God. That's when you will just sit there quietly at peace. No more thoughts, no more questions, no more answers, just peace. Your inner ear will open and a long deep breath, like a sigh of relief or a sense of release, will come to you. It's as if you were escaping from something, as if a burden were dropping off your shoulders. Sometimes it's like a release of air from your lungs. Sometimes it's a quick, short breath. It may be a complete shake in your body. It appears in many different ways, but however it comes, you will then be filled with a spiritual energy. However it comes, with it will come divine wisdom, divine guidance, divine strength. That deep breath, that click or release, was a God experience. The actual presence or activity of God in your consciousness. No matter how it announces itself, you will know what it is by your reaction. You may be tingling. You may have a sense that there's a new life in you, that there's an awareness that's more than just your human awareness, and you will know without any element of doubt that it is the presence and activity of God in you. Goldsmith writes, "For many, when this happens, they think they can now demonstrate all sorts of things in their lives." But he writes, "The only thing we can demonstrate is the presence of God, the activity of God, the realization of God." When we have achieved that demonstration, all things will be added unto you, not by us doing anything, but by the activity of God in us and through us, bringing all things to us. I leave you with those thoughts today, knowing that meditation is the way to attaining the God experience. I invite you to find whatever way works for you to meditate, and just spend time doing that. Many blessings, everyone. Enjoy your meditation time. Have a wonderful day.